All right, it's Fedora plus Konflux SIG. I'm going to share screen real quick and I'll stop sharing in a minute. Julia, you were just asking if we have an agenda, and we do have a little one. I changed the structure. Before we had this like current things, new things, open floor, backlog, and that was me like trying to like create some structure to try to create some momentum. But we actually, I mean, we don't have such a heavy attendance in this meeting that I feel like we don't need that. I was looking at the Fedora infrastructure team, and they do almost simply just announcements and open floor. And I figured that'd be better for us to kind of simplify down. I wanted to mention something about workflows here, but maybe we'll move that into open floor. And Tomasz, as always, I'm interested in the RPM build pipeline. If there's anything we can talk about the open sourcing of that, that would be a
yes, it's still in progress. Right now, there is actually a merge request against the upstream repo, and next step will be to create like a Fedora flavor of the pipeline as well. That one will be updated to use only the two architectures that are currently available in the Fedora Konflux instance. And part of that will be also some documentation or blog post or something like that with the guidance for Fedora people, like how to try to build their package from GitHub repo in Fedora Konflux instance. Currently, the due date, I think it was early April, but I think it's late to like 15, if I remember correctly, from the Monday call. So yeah, mid-April should be that.
That's cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Also, yeah, you get the link. I pasted it in the chat. So cool.
Yeah, I put it in. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I'll check it out afterwards and go see what's there. Unless there's anything you want to dig into and show us now.
Probably nothing special yet.
Okay. I got two other FYIs. We had this outstanding request from MetDM to put a nice URL on our cluster because it was like, kflux fedora 01.apps. Went on and out. And so we put a cname over it. Fedora infrastructure provisioned it, and I hope it's working. I can't log in with fast on that call, but take a look there. That's over the UI on the cluster. I did it manually with Let's Encrypt, which is going to expire in 1 year and fail. It needs to be redone with Cert Manager, but I haven't had a chance to do that yet. Put that in my backlog to get done at some point. And I think the other thing I wanted to share was that the bootc team has posted the configuration for their application components, image repository, and all that stuff at this other merge request, which is cool. They have a successful build of Fedora bootc going, and they're running tests successfully. I think they're going to use a tenant release pipeline to copy it to a repository under their control, but I haven't checked to see just how far along they are with that yet. Which is exciting. It's like a real user who's like using the cluster in like a regular flow.
Nice.
I've got then one other thing I wanted to share. We met with the Fedora Council last week, 2 weeks ago, and we talked about some of the issues of just having a discussion with the community about Konflux. And one of the things that Alexandra Fedorova pointed out was that the conversation alternates between like super high level about like Konflux broadly can build and release things securely, and then super low level about like what we're doing in the RPM build pipeline steps with mock. But this mid-level workflow stuff has been absent, and it like is hard for people to bite on the conversation. And so I created a stub at this repository. Here, let me share. How do I switch to share that tab? I can share this tab. Yeah, like I was just saying, Book War said it jumps between too high level and too low level. We need some mid-level stuff that we can use to start talking about how it should work. And without trying to dictate how it should work, I tried to create a description of how a single build could move through Fedora Rawhide using Konflux. There was this original doc that I think Pingu had created a long time ago about how a packager interacts with Fed package and Koji, Fedora messaging, Bodhi, RoboSignatory, and all these tools, GreenWave and WaverDB, in order to achieve a Rawhide update. People were telling me it's a little bit out of date. It's not the best thing to base on, but it was something to base on. And I reframed that diagram to have like a first integration of Konflux in Fedora, if this is one way it could work, is just essentially to replace Koji with Konflux, so that the packager is pushing with fed package, and either they're doing it directly from the CLI to the Konflux API, or they've pushed into Forgio, and Forgio is triggering the build. Konflux performs the build, which at the end of the build imports the build into Koji. Tomasz, the familiar flow from some of our experiments inside Red Hat. That would then, and everything else essentially works the same after that. Bodhi ships the build, all the other tooling is the same. At a later phase, we could look to replacing more than Koji, but also the compose and the mirror manager sync and the distribution parts of the package, the workflow around how packages get released. This is not as detailed as the one above, but it cuts out more of the existing Fedora infrastructure to just try to I don't know. Again, propose a workflow that then we can react to, right? We can start to propose changes to it. And what about this makes sense? What about this is helpful, not helpful, and so on. I created this, but we haven't had a chance to have any more discussion about it. I was kind of hoping somebody would come to the call today to argue about it, but here it is if you haven't seen it before.
I catch it on discussions on the metrics channel. I think it's great. Thank you, Ralph, for working on that. I was wondering, some of these things will require maybe some changes on the Konflux side. For example, your yesterday's testing about the size of snapshots. Mm-hmm. Because if we want to go with single snapshot for full Fedora release, it may be 24K packages, which currently probably is not optimal or cannot be handled. It would be probably good to open this as a ticket somewhere, or maybe issue in some Fedora related GitLab repo or GitHub repo. What do you think? Where to track these? Here? Cool.
Yeah, let's start here, and then we can move them if they don't make sense. What do you have in mind?
Yeah, for example, this one, either discuss how we can eventually do releases, or if we want to track a feature for Konflux to be able to handle the 24K packages. I'm not sure if this is the right way to go. So, but there will be these Fedora really specific topics or issues, and we should track them somewhere. And the matrix channel is not ideal to track this long term. So having something like this is, in my opinion, great.
Cool. Thank you.
Similar could be that plug model we created for all the workspace application component, how to track all these packages in Konflux, how to set up the workspaces and applications there.
Right on. This is great. Thank you.
And there may be others, right? We will find them as we will walk through.
I'll trigger trying to quick that. One namespace for all packages, namespace per package,
or some grouping.
Yeah, or said.
The last one is interesting idea. How that would work, because there are sometimes multiple packages for one package.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe that's not the best idea. I just edit it.
No, feel free to do there. I'm thinking about how it could work.
We could just to shard up the packages, divide them by the alphabet. It's not necessarily a good idea, but oh wait, what did I do? Merge request? I clicked the wrong button. There we go. Save changes. That's what I was looking for. Cool. Yeah, any others come to mind? This is good when we can build these out, and we can post the list of issues in the matrix channel too, and other people can file issues for questions they want to they want us to tackle.
Yep. Yeah, I would like to have a discussion with CC about the releases a little bit more, how we can do that for RHEL, because I would like to involve the integration workspace to be there, so we wouldn't be releasing directly from the developer workspaces, but that would be like a workspace in the middle that would be gathering all the updates and then would be responsible for releasing them, because it would make it easy to plug in whatever we need to, either if it's some program manager persona or if it's some automation.
Mm-hmm.
But CC has some other ideas, at least from what he mentioned. So I'm going to have some discussions with him internally. And I expect that as an outcome of these discussions, we may create like another issue or issues here, because there may be like multiple options how to do some of these operations.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. I was thinking about just as another option to put in mind for that conversation, when we were experimenting with snapshots yesterday and we tried to put 24,000 Fedora packages in a single snapshot and it was too big for the cluster to handle. Another option could be to represent the package collection as a single OCI artifact. I wonder if we can have an OCI artifact with 24,000 blobs. And then the snapshot could have a single component reference in it, which is a reference to, by digest, one OCI artifact that's kind of like a manifest list, but has the whole set of packages that we want to release for.
If you imagine that set of packages would be like line items of some unique identifiers of the packages, I think it would work well. Or was your idea that there would be really like OCI artifact where all the RPMs would physically be in?
Oh, well, no, they wouldn't physically. They would be references, right?
Okay, I think that could work. And I was discussing that last week, thinking about that last week in some context. I'm not sure if this was it or if it was something else.
Yeah.
But I think it was this context exactly because of this, like if the snap. Yeah. It was also related to these discussions, because originally we thought that there will be limitation, that you cannot really like reference a component from some other workspace, but now we learned that it's not true, thanks to you. But as part of that, I was like, hey, maybe we can just create some file with references like GitOps way, and then that would be used as the artifact, and then the release service would obtain all these reference artifacts and just release them. So yep.
Yeah.
Also, one related thing, we are starting discussions with Adam Shamalik from CentOS Stream, and we will be starting onboarding CentOS Stream to the Konflux, which could be also relevant and useful for Fedora community to see. So once first builds are onboarded there, people will be able to see how it looks like from the CentOS Stream merge requests.
Can you put any links to that if we have them in like announcements in the
Not yet. Like I had a meeting with Adam on Monday, and we will be officially like handing up that feature internally to Adam in the upcoming days. And then eventually I expect that there will be some public announcement to the CentOS Stream community that we can forward to the Fedora community.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. Awesome. That might be it. Did we run out of topics?
I guess so.
Cool. I actually can't see you. I'm just looking at the agenda doc. Let me stop sharing and go back to the meeting thing. Cool. Thank you for the discussion. I'll see you all in Matrix.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.